What is up, YouTube? It's your boy, The Walk 71, replaced David the 4. Hold on, what the fuck? Alright, my fault. And I'm here with my WWE TLC 2019 review for you all, the last WWE pay-per-view of the decade. This show overall was, like, pretty good. There was good matches on the show, and then there was matches that were just like, but like, I didn't really feel like I was disappointed like most WWE pay-per-views do. Like, this wasn't a bad show. It wasn't the best show of the year, but I mean, compared to what it could have been, I mean, we got a pretty okay, cool show. Okay, so first we got the pre-show match that was announced today. I was gonna say this week, but that was like the whole card was pretty much announced this week. We had Andrade versus Alberto Carrillo. This is a rematch from their match they had on Raw earlier this week. Carrillo won that one due to Zelina Vega getting taken out by Andrade. So as a result, Carrillo took advantage of that, won the match. This match was pretty good. There was one part, I guess, in the match where Andrade was bleeding. So, the ref had to make sure he was good. But these, they had the match I was expecting them to have on Raw. It was a pretty good match. We see basically them trying to recreate the spot from Monday Night Raw where Andrade is going to like accidentally run into Zelina Vega, but this time he stops himself. Carrillo tries to go for his pinfall that he did on Raw, but then Andrade reverses into a pin. Carrillo gets out. Eventually, it leads to Carrillo hitting the moonsault for the victory. Then after that, Carrillo wins. After that, Andrade and Zelina Vega start to go at it again, and it looks like maybe Andrade is gonna split from Zelina Vega. And if that's gonna happen, I'm gonna be real sad because honestly, Andrade and Zelina Vega work great together. I like that they actually stuck her with him when they did, because Andrade was at a point in his career at NXT where he just wasn't important until he had, kind of turned heel. He beat Cedric Alexander in NXT, and then he was just kind of floating around as a heel. I feel like Zelina Vega kind of completed his, like, I guess you could say his look. It kind of just completed his character. So I really hope they don't end this tandem between them two. Hopefully it's just setting up for something, but if they break them up, that would suck. So we open up the pay-per-view with a ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, the Revival versus the New Day, who are defending the titles. I didn't even know this was a ladder match. I thought it was just going to be a regular match. Match itself was fun. So many crazy spots. There was one part where Big E did a big ending off the ladder. I thought that was pretty dope. And, he did his little spear through the ropes. There was another part where Kofi jumped off of, like, I think it was a ladder, but it was like on the rope, so he kind of springboarded himself off, and he hit, who was it? Was it Scott Dawson? I think it was Dash Wilder. He hit Dash Wilder with like a tornado DDT, and I thought that was like pretty sick. Then another sick spot in the match was a thing that the Revival usually does in their match, where Scott Dawson goes for like a suplex or a brainbuster, and then Dash Wilder jumps off the top rope in like a splash. So they did that on a ladder this time, on a Big E. Scott Dawson did like his suplex or brainbuster on the ladder. It didn't break, and then they put him back onto the ladder. Dash Wilder jumped off the top rope, through the ladder. Big E goes. So we get to a point in the match where Big E takes out Dash Wilder with the spear to the outside. It comes down to Kofi Kingston and Scott Dawson. They're fighting each other on the ladder, and then eventually Kofi Kingston gets Dawson off of the ladder, and he goes crashing down through another ladder, which I thought was a pretty cool ending. Then Kofi climbs up, grabs the title. The New Day retain the tag team titles. Great opener. It pretty much, the match kicked ass. It was great. It was a really great opener to the pay-per-view. I thought we should be, the momentum is up, because that was a pretty good match. So after that, we got Buddy Murphy versus Alistair Black. This match was actually really good. I enjoyed this match a lot. And I feel like Alistair Black inadvertently getting his nose messed up added to the match, because, the whole thing is that these two men are basically going to fight each other. And when people fight each other, blood more than likely is going to be somewhere on somebody's body, whether it be their face or somewhere. So I like they added that in there. Basically, they were working over how strong Murphy's knee was. So I think his running knee strike was was what broke his nose. But basically, it was back and forth, strikes after strikes. They did let Buddy Murphy get a lot of stuff in. There was actually one point in the match where he was actually dominating Alistair Black, and he had him in like this one hole where he just kept elbowing him in the face. I thought that was dope. But then eventually Alistair Black would fight back, do all of his strikes. He did the moonsault to the outside. It looks like he was setting up for something. Did the running knee to the face. But then eventually Buddy Murphy started to get more offense. He did his little thing where he folds his opponent on the, like, in between the turnbuckles, and he super kicked him like 3 times, went for a powerbomb for a near fall. Then, like I said, they started trading strikes again. Buddy Murphy this time does his little strikes that led into a brain buster for a near fall. And then after that, eventually Alistair Black and Buddy Murphy start to go at it once again. They start trading strikes. Then out of nowhere, boom, Alistair Black catches Buddy Murphy lacking with the... Damn, how did I forget? I'm tweaking. With the black mass. He hits Buddy Murphy with the black mass. 1, 2, 3. He retains the title. And I like that they kind of showed Alistair Black's face and how his nose was bleeding as to show that he, like, really went through, like, a fight with Buddy Murphy. And I felt like that inadvertently made the match better. In a way, it kind of added to it and kind of, it added to the match. So I thought that was pretty great. Then after that, oh boy, we had the open challenge for the Raw Tag Team titles. The Viking Raiders held an open challenge for anybody, and none other than the OC answered. Now, when I was looking on Twitter and I was also like listening to commentary on Raw, I've noticed that they were bringing up the fact that the OC are the only team on the main roster to defeat the Viking Raiders. They might be the first team in all of WWE, including NXT, to defeat the Viking Raiders in a match. And that's exactly what happened. They eliminated the Viking Raiders at that Tag Team Turmoil at, Crown Jewel. There we go. At Crown Jewel. So this time, the OC came out. It would have been better if the Usos came out, but I see why the OC came out, because, the Viking Raiders want to avenge their loss. But if the Usos had pulled up, that would have been great, because they probably would have had a great match. Before the match started, there was like a little KFC thing that I had to mention because I just did not like it. And then it also had something to do with the match. But the KFC, I guess they gave a family of 4. They gave a family of 4 a ringside seat, and then they were just eating chicken and gravy and all KFC like food like near the ring. And I thought that was like, what is this? I just want to see people wrestle. What is this? Then also Viking Raiders, because they're in Minnesota, the Minnesota Vikings. They got, over with the crowd. They were doing the skull stuff or whatever. So that set up for something. The match itself, I wish I could tell you I cared. Towards the end, it started to pick up when the Viking Raiders hit the Viking Experience onto Carl Anderson. Then Luke Gallows broke it up. Then we got a little exchange between Ivar and Luke Gallows. Then eventually they started to go and attack, Eric on the outside. Then eventually just led, no. And then after that, Ivar hit a suicide dive to the outside, and basically they all got double counted out. Whatever, the fans started to boo, chanted bullshit, all that stuff. Nothing new. So then after that, they continued to brawl, and this is why I had to mention the KFC table, because eventually they brawled. They cleared the table. The Viking Raiders put Carl Anderson through the KFC table. Boom. I wish I could say I care, but it's like Vince doesn't even care about the tag team division, unless you're the Usos or the New Day or the Revival sometimes. After that, we got the first of our 2 TLC matches tonight. Roman Reigns versus King Corbin. Man, what a build-up. What a terrible build-up this was. So basically, they built it up, as basically what Dean Ambrose was going to do to Roman, with the pooper scooper stuff, but instead it was the little dog bags with Baron Corbin. So for weeks now, Baron Corbin has been calling out Roman Reigns, saying he's not really the big dog, and he edited Roman's music and had a chihuahua doing the theme song. And the next week he had a dog mascot in the Roman Reigns gear. And then a week after that, was that the week? It might be the week after. I don't remember at this point. I don't care neither. We get the infamous dog food segment where Corbin and Dolph Ziggler just pour dog food all over Roman Reigns. how do you expect for me to care? Like, I get that what they're doing is to set up, Roman to eventually get his comeback, but it's just like, oh my god, whatever. The match itself was cool. It started out like immediately, like when Roman Reigns came out to the ring. I believe Baron Corbin had cut a promo actually, but it meant absolutely nothing. Roman Reigns came out. The security guards were about to attack Roman. Roman took all of them out. Then eventually they got into it. He actually put one of the security guards to a table. Then the match officially started. They were fighting through the crowd. Eventually got to ringside, going at it. It was starting off as like a regular match, but then eventually the weapons got involved. Roman Reigns put Baron Corbin through a table with the Samoan drop, and that actually got the fans to chant for it, I guess, as if we haven't seen this before. What else? I'm trying to think what else in this match like was interesting, because this match really wasn't that interesting. It's probably one of the most boring TLC matches I've seen in my life. Shall we get to the? I'll just get to the end because nothing else happened. So Roman Reigns looked like he's setting up to go for a spear. As he runs for the spear, Dolph Ziggler catches him out of nowhere with a super kick. They start to fight. They start to brawl. But eventually, Roman evens the odds because it looks like they're about to set up some poor dog food on him again. But then Roman Reigns comes out of nowhere with the drive-by. Eventually, it looks like momentum is changing in Roman's favor. Then the Revival decide to come out and beat up Roman Reigns, because on SmackDown, they set up where the Revival got involved with attacking Roman, but they ended up getting beat up by Roman. So I guess it makes sense. But they basically just quadruple teamed Roman until Baron Corbin won. So yeah, I don't care. You couldn't pay me enough to care. Now, this match was the match I was looking forward to the most. According to Wrestling Inc., it was a Universal title match. I thought it was a non-title match. Who knows? I mean, was the winner ever in doubt, to be honest? But anyways, WWE Universal Champion Bray Wyatt, not the Fiend this time, regular Mr. Rogers sweater-wearing Bray Wyatt versus The Miz. And I have been very exciting for any Bray Wyatt match now because of the whole Fiend thing and the Firefly Funhouse and everything. But I've been very excited about this because the story of this is I actually have enjoyed it. So basically, after the Fiend attacked Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, went under the ring, took his hair out, and we would never see Daniel Bryan for like 2-3 weeks. He died. He basically died. So after that, Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, the Fiend and Daniel Bryan are nowhere to be found. The Miz is saying he doesn't care for Daniel Bryan, but he respects him and he cares for the WWE Universe and he's very important to the universe and he just wants to get to the bottom of it. Regular Bray Wyatt is like, oh, since you want to get involved, how about we have a match at TLC? And then they start to get involved where the Miz's family would be brought in and Bray would talk about, playing with with his family. And then there was a video where Miz is going in a room. He sees Bray Wyatt, like a picture of Bray Wyatt and his family, and Bray Wyatt catches him out of nowhere with his sister Abigail. Then the next week, the Miz does like a sit-down interview at his home. But then eventually his daughter is crying, and then we see that she was playing with Rambling Rabbit was just there. And then it was great. I liked how they built this matchup. That's why I'm talking about it so much. Then after that, they saw that she had a doll that had the Fiend's like face paint on it, so I thought that was pretty crazy. So now we get the match itself. The Miz came out, and I was very eager to see like how they would present the regular, TV show host Bray Wyatt, and they did exactly everything I thought. He came out. It was the Firefly Funhouse theme song, like the whole thing. We even got the extended version because the song replayed itself. Came out to the ring with the championship. So happy, shaking the fans' hands. He gets on top of the commentator's table. They were actually scared because he like moved the top of it, moved it out the way as if he was gonna put somebody through it, and the commentator's like, oh. And basically, just held under the championship. Just so happy to be there. Then the match happened, and basically it was the Miz just trying to just kill Bray Wyatt. That was the whole part of the match, and I actually like the way they structured it. This is actually my match of the night, to be honest. They structured it to where, Bray Wyatt basically isn't a fighter because I mean, he's crazy. He's the TV show host. He's not the Fiend. So, like, I guess he can take pain, but not really dish it out as much, I guess. But he could take pain because there was parts of the match where Miz was beating on him and he was just biting on the rope, smiling. Then the Miz even does the little Pentagon arm snap, and Bray Wyatt just, like, smiles after it. I actually like what they did, basically, where he did that, and then he just started bashing his shoulder into the barricade to try to put his shoulder back into place. I thought that was cool. Then eventually Bray Wyatt catches Miz with his sister Abigail off of the off of the barricade. Like, the Miz was hanging off the barricade. He hit it. Then the Miz got back in the ring to beat the 10 count, and then he hit the sister Abigail in the ring for the 1-2-3. Bray Wyatt celebrated, and then after that, the Fiend's picture, I guess it'd just be a live feed because he was moving, but he didn't do anything. He was right there, and Bray Wyatt was looking at him, was like, "You want me to get it?" He said, "Okay." So he goes under the ring. He grabs the mallet. I popped hard for the mallet. I'm going to get me mallet. He had the mallet, and he was about to kill the Miz with the mallet, and then the Fiend lights go off. The Fiend lights come back on, and a man with the hoodie comes on, hits Bray Wyatt with the running knee, takes it off. It's Daniel. Oh my God, I can't speak. It's Daniel Bryan. It's American Dragon Daniel Bryan. Bald, has a little bit of a beard. It's basically Daniel Bryan when he first got into WWE. Completely changed his look, and I thought that was great for the story. Probably did it to donate his hair, because that's what he did last time. And basically, he was doing the yes kicks in the corner, doing the face stomp, and then it looks like he was about to hit Bray Wyatt with the mallet. Then the Fiend lights went off, and Bray Wyatt disappeared. And I thought that was pretty dope. Pretty good presentation of that match. My match of the night, personally, and even though the match was probably like less than 10 minutes, it told a story. It delivered on the story, and it set up for something in the future, which I'm looking forward to. When I talk about the story, I mean the whole thing behind Bray Wyatt, when he says let him in, he basically means let him in, and then, like, you know, basically the people he goes against changes. Who was the first person he went against? Finn Balor. He turned heel in NXT. Seth Rollins turned heel. Daniel Bryan just went crazy. Now, when he faced The Miz unlocked a different side of himself that we don't normally see. He's doing Pentagon Jr. stuff, breaking people's arms. Like, we don't see that from The Miz. So I like the story of that. I like that he's basically turning SmackDown into his own Firefly Funhouse, where everybody's essentially his puppet. He controls everybody. So I thought that was pretty dope. So now we get to see what's going to happen. Probably get The Fiend and D-Bry at Royal Rumble. Hopefully we don't get the red lighting. So after that, we got the tables match. Bobby Lashley versus Rusev. A tables match. The culmination of a storyline that probably hasn't even ended yet. If you've watched WWE, then you know everything that's going on. I'm not even going to go over everything that went on with this match. I feel like if you've caught any WWE within the past month, which I know is like probably hard because nobody gives a fuck about this shit, then you know everything that's going on. Bobby Lashley and Lana. Well, Lana cheated on Rusev with Bobby Lashley. Then we found out Rusev cheated on her. She faked a pregnancy. Now they're getting a divorce, and now they're having a match. I didn't really care for the match. The right person won in Bobby Lashley. He put Rusev through a table. At first, he was going to spear Rusev through the table, but that didn't work. So then he just suplexed him through the other table that was in the corner. Maybe that was the setup on purpose. Who knows? Nothing crazy happened in this match. There was a part where Rusev started wailing on Bobby Lashley with a kendo stick, and he was getting cheered. But I mean, other than that, I mean, it was a match that happened. I wasn't really looking forward to the match to begin with. So I mean, whatever happened. I guess it beat my expectations, but I didn't really have none. So whatever. The right person won in Bobby Lashley because Bobby Lashley hasn't really won a feud or hasn't really won a big match in WWE yet. So, this is great for him. This gets him somewhere. I don't know where it's going to lead to. It's probably going to lead to absolutely nothing. But, hey, he won. So, after that, we got the main event of the night, TLC match for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. The Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair versus the Kabuki Warriors, which consist of Asuka and Kairi Sane. Now, this match is based off of basically what WWE's been building up, where Charlotte faced Asuka. It really all started from Survivor Series, really. Asuka had missed Charlotte in the face, got her eliminated at Survivor Series. Then the next night they had a match at Raw, and Asuka won by missing Charlotte in the face once again. Then she had a 1-on-2 match with them. She lost. Then Becky had a 1-on-2 match with them. She won by DQ, but then they wailed on Becky and put her through a table. Then Charlotte was there, and she was telling her, "Oh, you might need me," and whatnot. And then she got attacked. Charlotte got attacked by the Kabuki Warriors backstage. And then, now we have a match based off of that. And it's funny, actually, because last year at TLC, the main event was Becky versus Charlotte versus Asuka for the SmackDown Women's title. So I thought that was a pretty interesting ending, I guess you could say. So, how do I start this match? I guess I'll just give my opinions on it. I didn't hate the match, but I did feel like the match dragged too long. I felt like the setup for a lot of the spots just like kind of, how do I say this? It kind of like the setup of the match took from it, because it's like, oh, I know they're about to set up for this. And it just felt like everything was in slow motion. What was the cool stuff about this match? I liked what they were doing with them and with the Kabuki Warriors and Charlotte and Becky, were basically, when they have 1-on-2 matches with the Kabuki Warriors, they have a better chance. But when it's an even match, then it's the Kabuki Warriors still going to win because they can outsmart the team. And that's exactly what happened at the end. Let's see what spots interested me. We could talk about Asuka and Kairi Sane tying Becky Lynch to a ladder that led to absolutely nothing that I don't remember. A lot of botches in this match. There was one botch where Kairi Sane was trying to put Charlotte and Becky through a table, but instead of jumping from the top rope, she jumped from the apron and she just botched. There was another part where Charlotte was trying to go for a spear and it just did not look good. And it wasn't Kairi Sane's fault. It was definitely Charlotte's fault. I don't know what she was doing. She powerbombed Kairi Sane through a table, but it looked like Kairi Sane was sandbagging her, but I think it was to stop her from a wardrobe malfunction or something, from what I heard. Let's see. Asuka. Let's see, what did Asuka do? Asuka did stuff. She put Charlotte through a table. Becky was there. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this match. I kind of have the same feeling I did for the Survivor Series main event, but it was like this one had a better ending to it. It was just like, it happened. It was cool. The stuff that they did was cool. It just seemed like a lot of this stuff took forever to set up and just felt like the match was dragging for a long time. So we get towards the end of the match. Charlotte gets taken out, put through a table. Kairi Sane was taken out earlier. Then we get Asuka and Becky, because they are clearly setting up for a match between them two at Royal Rumble, and I believe that's going to be where Becky Lynch avenges her loss to Asuka at the Royal Rumble, which is probably why they never mentioned it. It makes sense now, I guess. So basically, they're fighting up to get to the ladder. Asuka gets taken off the ladder by Becky. Becky climbs up, and like I mentioned earlier about Becky being tied to the ladder with a rope, the rope was still connected to the ladder. So, as you see Becky climb up, it looks like she's about to get the tag titles. Asuka pulls the rope and basically knocking Becky Lynch off the ladder. Eventually, she sets the ladder back up, climbs up, wins the SmackDown Tag Team titles, wins the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. And the Kabuki Warriors won. Now, if you just would have gave them their celebration final shot, I would have been great. But no. WWE has to overshadow something. You literally had to overshadow this with a brawl. You overshadowed the Kabuki Warriors beating not only Charlotte, who is considered the best of this like decade. I won't even say decade, but like considered the best of this current like women's generation, and the Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch. And you couldn't even give them the decency of like giving them the final shot of the show. Instead, they're continuing a brawl that happened earlier in the show that was around Corbin and Roman, and eventually led to Roman spearing Baron Corbin into all the wrestlers. Woohoo. That was stupid. That wasn't even needed. Whatever though, I don't think WWE thought that like that was the last pay per view of the decade and that's how you end it. But whatever, who cares? It's WWE. Yeah, that's my review for WWE TLC. I thought the show was, it was good for the most part. I mean, besides like little things here and there. I mean, I was thoroughly entertained. The Bray Wyatt stuff really was my favorite part of the show, and that was actually the stuff I was looking forward to. So for that to deliver, I'm satisfied. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe. Do what you do to support me. Follow me on all my social media links down in the description below. Anyway, guys, it's been real. I'm out. Peace.